There was a time when Friday nights meant only one thing: a family trip to Blockbuster. Bright blue walls, shelves filled with movies, the smell of popcorn. Blockbuster wasn't just a store, it was an experience, a ritual, a part of people's lives. And then almost overnight, it disappeared. Meanwhile, Netflix, a tiny DVD by mail startup with no stores and barely any money, rose to become a global giant worth hundreds of billions. How did this happen? How did a company that once ruled the world fall so fast? And how did Netflix, a complete nobody, destroy them? This is the story of one of the biggest business mistakes in history, a mistake worth $60 billion. Blockbuster was born in 1985 in Dallas, Texas. Its founder, David Cook, believed people deserved a clean, organized place to rent movies, something better than the small local rental stores of the time. The idea was simple but revolutionary. Within just a few years, Blockbuster exploded across America. By the 1990s, they were opening one store every 17 hours. Eventually, they grew to 9,000 stores worldwide, serving millions of customers every week. For many families, a weekend wasn't complete without visit to Blockbuster. You walked in excited, you left with a movie, snacks and a memory. But behind the nostalgic ritual, Blockbuster had a secret weapon: late fees. Customer hated them, but Blockbuster loved them. At one point, late fees brought in $800 million per year. That was nearly 16% of company's entire revenue. It made Blockbuster rich, but it also made customers quietly, deeply frustrated. And later, the frustration would become a Netflix's biggest advantage. In 1997, Reed Hastings rented a movie from Blockbuster, Apollo 13. He returned it late. Blockbuster charged him $40 late fee. That tiny moment changed entertainment history. It made Hastings question the entire system. Why should returning a movie late cost almost as much as buying the movie? He realized something powerful. Blockbuster was making money by punishing its customer. Hastings teamed up with Mark Randolph and created Netflix, a DVD by mail service where no late fees, no due dates, movies delivered to your home, a subscription instead of rentals. At first, Netflix was tiny and slow growing. They had no stores, no customer base, nothing compared to Blockbuster. They were an ant fighting with elephant. But they had something Blockbuster didn't: a business model customers loved. In the year 2000, Netflix was struggling financially. They weren't growing fast enough. They were burning money. So Reed Hastings flew to Blockbuster's headquarters. He proposed a partnership or even a full acquisition. Netflix offered to sell their entire company for $50 million. Blockbuster's CEO, John Antico, laughed. He said Netflix was a niche business. He said streaming would never replace physical stores. He said people will never stop going to Blockbuster. That meeting is now considered one of the worst business decisions ever made. And as Netflix left that office, they knew something Blockbuster didn't. The future was digital, and Blockbuster wasn't ready. In the early 2000s, something huge was happening. The internet was becoming faster, cheaper, and widely available. Netflix saw the shift immediately. Blockbuster didn't. Netflix realized that the future wasn't DVD, it was streaming. So in 2007, Netflix launched its streaming service. No DVDs, no waiting, just click and watch instantly. Even the early internet speeds were slow. Netflix knew technology would catch up. They were planning for the future. Blockbuster, meanwhile, doubled down on their stores. They kept expanding. They kept investing in physical rentals. They kept believing customers would always prefer the in-store experience. But the world was changing faster than Blockbuster. Netflix innovated, Blockbuster hesitated. This gap between innovation and hesitation created the beginning of Blockbuster's downfall. Mistake 1. Ignoring streaming. Blockbuster had every advantage: money, stores, brand power, industry influence. They could have launched streaming long before Netflix. They could have dominated the digital world, but they didn't. Their leadership believed streaming was a fad. They believed customers wanted physical stores. They believed the future would look like the past. It didn't. Netflix kept improving streaming quality, while Blockbuster watched from the sidelines. Mistake 2: Late fees. When Netflix eliminated late fees, customers loved it. Blockbuster didn't. Late fees were a huge part of Blockbuster's revenue. They depended on them. But this also meant customers felt cheated, punished, annoyed. The more people hated late fees, the more they loved Netflix's simple subscription model. Netflix looked friendly, Blockbuster looked greedy. That perception alone pushed thousands of customers to switch. Mistake 3: Moving too slowly. Blockbuster had tens of thousands of employees, thousands of stores, and layers of managers. Decision making was slow, experiments were slow, innovation was slow. Netflix was the complete opposite: lean, fast, and flexible. By the time Blockbuster launched their own streaming competitor, Netflix has already grown into a powerful digital platform with years of data, personalization, and loyal users. Blockbuster was late to their own industry. By 2010, Blockbuster was drowning into debt. They owed billions. Store footfall was dropping fast. Netflix was growing faster every month. Finally, Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. The company that once dominated entertainment, the company families grew up with, the company that felt invincible, was now gone. Meanwhile, Netflix was worth $60 billion, and it was only the beginning. Netflix didn't win by luck. They made several brilliant decisions. 1. They focused on user experience. No late fees, instant streaming, smart recommendation, a system built entirely around customer satisfaction. 2. They invested in data and algorithms. Netflix studied what people watched, skipped, liked, replayed. Their recommendation became incredibly accurate. 3. They bet on original content. In 2013, Netflix launched House of Cards. It changed everything. Netflix was no longer a library. They were a studio, a creator, a global entertainment powerhouse. Blockbuster never evolved. Netflix evolved every year. And that is the difference between success and failure. People often say Netflix killed Blockbuster, but that's not true. Blockbuster killed Blockbuster. They refused to change. They underestimated new technology. They ignored customer frustration. They trusted old success too much. Netflix didn't destroy them, the future did. And Blockbuster wasn't prepared. Today, Netflix is one of the most powerful entertainment companies in the world, and Blockbuster survives only as a memory, a reminder of what happens when a giant refuses to evolve. The rise of Netflix and the fall of Blockbuster isn't just a business story. It's a lesson in innovation, courage, and timing. Success doesn't last forever, but those who adapt survive. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more. See you in the next video.